Welp, we're back here again. I think the natural light today is a little less than it was before, and my hair is looking a lot worse than it than it was previously. Unfortunately, having dry as hell hair, this is what it does to me. Where'd my comb go? It won't help me. Nothing can help this. Oh boy. Regardless of that, we're just going to talk about the new perks, and we're going to ignore the hair altogether. We're going to ignore the hair altogether. Um, to say the least, I did not expect majority of the perks to just get like straight up nerfed. I kind of thought like for changing up the meta, I thought they'd change them fundamentally, kind of how Dead Hard got changed fundamentally. I know some people are saying, some people are like, oh, it's a buff, and you know whether or not it is, that's we can't really see until we check live servers. It's essentially now it just offers one second. 1 second of endurance. So if you, I think maybe now it's just going to be a little more lenient on actually guessing when the killer swings. Because if you can guess correctly and press the button, then they'll swing and you'll just have endurance. So I mean, that's what it's going to do now. But they really didn't change a lot of perks fundamentally. More so just getting rid of some of their abilities or toning down the numbers, kind of like what they did to Ruin, which they went from 100, 150 to 200. They took that down to 50, 70, 100. So it's literally only 100. And I mean, they may have done that, but they buffed the shit out of overcharge, and now over the course of 30 seconds, it'll reduce by like 400%. That, for one, that's more than Ruin, and I'm pretty sure it's on a zero cooldown, because overcharge never had a cooldown to begin with. So, you might see a lot of overcharges. But generally, survivors didn't really get a lot this patch. I mean, obviously, we haven't seen what's going to happen next. I think, unfortunately, now, I think a lot of the meta is going to shift from people doing more risky things with Dead Hard. Because the thing about Dead Hard was that the reason I enjoyed it so much was that it allowed me to be places that otherwise would be pretty risky. And you can do that a little bit with Sprint Burst, but Sprint Burst, it didn't have that invulnerability. It doesn't, Sprint Burst is Sprint Burst. It's gonna get you from point A to point B, but it's not really gonna help you that much in terms of, if you're just in a bad spot, you're in a bad spot. You can Sprint Burst away, but I mean, if you Sprint Burst to another bad spot, there's no point. Yeah, they really didn't get anything good, especially considering how many killers now they've gotten general killer buffs. Like, killers have gotten a huge buff this patch. And anyone who says they haven't, you're an idiot. You should have read the patch notes. Now there is a 10%. I forgot how to explain. Killers kick pallets and walls 10% faster, as well as they do something else 10% faster, and I'm not sure what that is. It could be just kicking generators, but kicking generators now gets rid of more of the gen, so I mean, it's a little bit more useful, I suppose. And one of the biggest changes for me was the general M1 was getting changed from 3 seconds to 2.7. For reference, on the Survivor side, Saboteur, the perk, takes 2.6 seconds That is a millisecond difference between that perk and the killer's M1 ability now. I didn't think that really needed changed, but that, if anything is going to shake up the meta, it's going to be that, because now you have to understand the killer timings for M1s. Maybe, you know, some people say it's not going to be that big of a difference, it's not going to be that big of a deal, but, I mean, you're going from 3 seconds to 2.7, that's still, that's a reduction. That is fucking crazy. And stuff like, Brutal Strength, they're gonna be able to use that. Fuck, it's gonna be more effective now. You're just gonna get rid of a pallet fucking immediately, like, it's gone. It's gonna be incredibly, it's gonna suck. A lot of the perks for us that got nerfed to the point where they might just be not even usable. Like, I can't believe they fucking nerfed Spine Chill again. And, wait, again, did I say Spine Chill? They nerfed Self-Care, and then they buffed Botany. So, I mean, what did they really do there? People who run Self-Care without Botany now are just fucking idiots. It takes forever to Self-Care without Botany. Why would you do that? I don't know. I think the only... There's... Oh, my hair. Too good. I ended up doing my hair. Because I couldn't stand it not done. I can't remember where I was. All I remember was I was talking about general killer updates. And honestly, yeah, those are gonna be really good. Like, those are gonna be incredibly good. I don't really know how to react to it. I'm just gonna, I mean, for my game, voice crack. For my games now, mostly I've been playing with Sprint Burst, or at least I've been trying to transition to a different perk, because to be honest, seeing what that perk does, I'm not interested in playing it. The Mend effect is my least favorite effect in the entire fucking game. I can't see shit on my screen, so I don't really want to, I don't really want to use Dead Hard when that's what it's going to give me. It's just going to give me endurance for a second, and then, oh, if the killer hits me, oh, look, I gotta gain a minimal amount of distance, because they're nerfing the amount of distance you can get as well. Oh, boy. A lot of people say, a lot of people are saying this is going to kill solo queue. I've seen, like, so many forum posts being like, alright, time to quit playing solo queue, and I'm out. I don't really know what to say, because a majority of my hours do come from solo queue, so, like, I'm constantly playing with randoms anyways. I'm not usually playing with friends. Do I think it's gonna kill solo queue? I think it's gonna make it worse, yeah, because a lot of solo queue teammates aren't, let's say, they're lacking in the frames department sometimes, or majority of the time they can't keep up with what's going on, and usually we win games when I can take the chase for a long time, and then my teammates can get some gens done, and we have another guy take a chase for a long time. So if, you know, if at least two people understand what they're doing, and the killer doesn't go for the weak links immediately and tunnels them out of the game, so if the killer plays a little more fair, and they give the people who know how to chase well a chance by actually chasing them, usually we can get a lot of work done there. But and there's always, you know, there's always a chance for the killer to turn it back around, even if that happens. Usually I win games when my team wants to win the game too. When they understand how to play, and they're not going down constantly. If it is like a constant unhook fest, then the game's already over. Because, I mean, the only thing you're doing is unhooking other people, so you're not doing the objective, and you can't communicate with solo queue teammates whether or not you should be doing the objective or getting the other guy healing or anything. You can't really tell them anything. I saw some people, though, they were saying that they don't want solo queue to be buffed to where Swift is, and obviously, I mean, it never can be. You never really can buff it. You never can buff solo queue to be on par with Survive with Friends. But at least you can make it a little more tolerable for solo queue, and some people were saying they didn't want that. They were saying, like, it's going to become impossible for killers to win games if that's what's going to happen. Or they're saying killers are going to need massive buffs after that. And, honestly, I'm not sure, because I'm not really sure what the game wants to balance around in general. Right now, the devs are saying that they're like, hey, killers, we understand. Gens, they're pretty damn fast. So we're going to add 10 seconds more to that shit. And we're going to buff some other slowdown perks, but we're going to get rid of your main gen slowdown perks. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what they want to buff around. Because if the game wants solo queue to be less solo queue and more Survive with Friends, if that's what the devs are going for, then it, you know, the easiest way to do it is to buff solo queue finally, see how that plays out, and then make the correct killer buffs accordingly. That way, now solo queue has their avenues, they have their, they have their options, and killers can finally get a buff that makes a little more sense, because solo queue got buffed. I mean, that's crazy. I'm not really too sure. I'm not excited for the update, but the new meta that it brings with it, I don't think I'm particularly excited to see how this plays out. Because I'll tell you right now, there are two perks that I think there are two survivor perks that I think are going to be fucking insane, and I'm not really sure on the killer's end. I think maybe overcharge is probably going to become crazy. Like, everyone's going to want to use overcharge. But two survivor perks that I'm very sure that are going to see the roundabouts here and there. You're going to see probably a lot of off the record, and you're going to see a shitload of Sprint Burst. Sprint Burst has always been a good exhaustion perk. If I voice crack one more time, I'm going to lose my mind. Anyways, it's always been a good exhaustion perk. The only reason it has low usage is because people opt to use Dead Hard instead of it. Now that Dead Hard has been turned into something effectively different, I mean, still somewhat the same, but obviously now you still get hit, but it's just Medal of Man, but on a 40-second cooldown. Oh my goodness, it's fucking good. Sprint Burst has never been bad. It's always been about It's always been about whether you dedicate enough time to understand really when to use it and how to use it, and also just how to effectively make the killer miss a hit on you and then get the correct amount of distance away from them. That's always been the thing about Sprint Burst, is just understanding when to use it properly, which can be an issue for some people who never did that, or who never really bothered to go and learn Sprint Burst. Recently I've been picking it up a bit, so I guess I could say I'm alright. Off the record was one survivor perk that I think got a hella buff. Like, holy shit, its buff is insanely good now. It makes it genuinely damn near so viable, because also they've nerfed Iron Will. God knows why they fucking did that. I have no idea why they nerfed Iron Will of any survivor perk out there. Iron Will? Really? You've got loads of other survivor perks that killers deem more unfun than Iron Will. But, I mean, sure. Let's make it unusable. I'm literally only going to use Bite the Bullet now. You will not catch me with Iron Will no more. I think, honestly, I think we're on our way to kind of just the green medkit era of meta. And by that I mean, when you get hit, you try to break line of sight. You know, you got your bite the bullet and everything. You got your botany knowledge, and then you try to heal as fast as possible. Ooh. I don't know. To me personally, I've tried it now with Iron Will, Lucky Break, other stuff. I haven't gotten success out of it. Maybe I'm just bad. But maybe I was also on a bad map too. Regardless, I think we're gonna see a lot more people probably play a little bit more selfishly. And by that I mean, like, you're gonna see a lot less risky plays. Without Dead Hard, people aren't gonna want to go and do shit that's risky. You're gonna see a lot of people hide. Like high MMR games when survivors actually give a shit about escaping, which I like to think I play high MMR, but for some reason apparently I don't. I guess I just die for too many teammates. Honestly, to me, oh well, whatever happens, happens. The new meta is gonna be the new meta regardless. But I'm just hoping it's at least gonna be something that I that I won't have to cry about. But I will cry about Plague and Thanatophobia. Holy fuck, they buffed the shit out of Thanatophobia. Anyways, that's all I really gotta say. I wasn't supposed to be here for 17 minutes anyways, but I had to make a part 2. I wasn't done yet. That's been most of the perks. I mean, if you want to hear about other ones, I will leave the link for the I'm stuttering so hard. Fuck. I'll leave the link to the DVD forums in the description, where it's gonna tell you. You can scroll down, you can see everything that it's gonna add, more than even what I said. Because I don't really want to go through every single individual perk and be like, hey, look, this is good. Hey, look, this is bad. I will say though, they nerfed barbecue, and We're Gonna Live Forever. No more BP. No more blood points. I'm crying, dude. How could you do this? How could you do this to my perks? I literally... They're so good, man. Oh well. A lot of slowdowns are basically the same, just worse numbers. And killers, all of their perks got buffed. Like, really, really well. And then we just get fucking Calm Spirit. 30%. 30%, dude. It makes no difference. I hate this shit.